no Jedi.
Your powers are weak, old man.
Always remember, your focus determines your reality.
Hello there.
General Kenobi! You don't know the power of the dark side.
And welcome back to the Disciples of the Force podcast. I'm your host, Spencer Silva, with my sexy, guapissimo co-host, Austin Hyatt. How you doing, Austin?
Gracias. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
That's what I like to hear, man. It always makes me happy, huh?
Well, it's a lie. I'm not.
Oh, you're doing bad? Oh, yeah, dude. Tell me about that. Anyways,
okay. No, yeah, you go ahead. Yeah, it's whatever.
Just kidding. Wait, did you actually crack your windshield?
Yeah, I've got a cracked windshield. I got to pay like $250. Had to figure out this power thing at work. It was horrible. Anyway.
Damn, I'm actually sorry. I was just teasing. I didn't know that was.
Just whatever.
Okay. Real quick before we get into Star Wars news, I wanted to hurry and show you this. I just remembered. Share my screen. How do I do this? Oh, there it is. For my viewers at home, you may be wondering what this guy doing. Don't worry about it.
He's just pulling it up.
Do you see this little? Can you see my screen?
See.
Do you see little Grogu in the right hand corner? Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Watch if you click him. He uses the Force and he'll like drop the. It only happens if you type in The Mandalorian into Google and he pops up and you keep clicking him and he'll just F with the rest of the stuff on the screen.
Oh my gosh. That is so cool.
Super cute. Anyways, that was cute. Thought I'd share it.
Cute. Very good.
Anyways.
Well, that is Star Wars news, isn't it?
That is news. Go to Google, type in The Mandalorian, and Grogu will pop up in the right hand corner.
Beautiful.
What do you have? I don't have anything other than that. That was all I had.
I should have done my research before, but I'm looking. It doesn't really look like there's much going on. I remember seeing something about some movie reveals that are going to come up around Star Wars Celebration or Star Wars Day, but I don't know. There's no concrete stuff on that, so we don't need to report on it.
We'll keep our ear to the ground, huh?
That's what they say, I guess.
All right. You want to start with The Mandalorian or Bad Batch? What do you think would be better to start with?
So I think we started with Mandalorian last time because there was less to talk about. I really liked this episode, so I've got quite a few notes.
Okay.
But I've also got a bunch for the Bad Batch. So
same, because drop 2 episodes on us. Don't even give us a heads up. What the hell, Dave? Huh?
Let's go into Bad Batch first because it was the season finale, right?
Okay.
And then we'll do Mando. How about that?
That sounds great.
You like that a little bit?
Yeah, I like that a lot. So, the Bad Batch, real quick. First episode we'll talk about is The Summit. This rating says 8.7, but there's only 300 reviews on it, so I wouldn't. It just came out today, so that's going to change. But last week's episode, pretty steady, 8.4. So people really like last week's episode. Anyways, some of the quick things I wanted to talk about was here it is. Yeah. So we were kind of wrong. Well, not we. I was wrong. I would have thought Crosshair was going to be the one to, lead him to Omega, but that never happened,
Yeah.
But anyways.
That was really predictable. That was really easy to see coming, that he wasn't going to do it. I wish he would have paid more attention.
Right, for sure.
No, but just kidding. But like by the end of last week's episode, I was totally convinced that Crosshair was completely converted.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Dr. Royce Hemlock was standing over him and he was like, "She means nothing to you, Omega.
Mm-hmm.
Like just lead us to her." I could tell that really resonated with my boy Hare. And he wasn't gonna lead them to her, so makes sense that Sid did. So
yeah. Oh, dude.
But was that the last episode, or was that
that popped
No,
up.
that was the final episode that the Empire got him. So why are you getting ahead of yourself?
I didn't say that.
You said that.
Anyways,
Play
let's
back
jump
the
into the
tape.
episode.
Okay.
So, yeah, Tech, we've seen it earlier that he's got a little bit of some autism. We love him. The way he was
Mhm.
talking to Fee, you know,
To
he
Fee.
just wasn't picking up what she was putting down.
Yeah.
Silly boy.
Dude, I love Fee. I hope we get to see more of her next season. Because the way she's like, where are you guys going? And Omega says it's a covert mission. Fee realizes, bro, it's none of her business. She's not asking questions. She accepts it. She's a real one. So
Yeah, she's
excited to see
down
more of
with
her.
it. She's down with the
Yeah.
craft. She gets it.
Jeez.
Let's see here. Oh, so my question was going to be, why would they not just make an hour-long episode? Why split it into two just to release them all on the same day? You know, like, why not just make it one long season finale?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think they just have a pattern for how long these seasons are going to be. I think last season must have been 16 episodes, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You can fact
I
check
don't
me on
know.
that. But they probably just commit to a certain number of episodes and have to do it. I would say. I'm not sure, though.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. But I just thought it was funny because it was like it literally picked off right from where it was. So it's just like, this could have been one episode. But anyways,
well, because that would have been a cool cliffhanger if we would have had to wait a week.
Yeah, it would have been awesome.
Like a literal cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So
literal. Yeah. I like the spy missions where they have to be stealth. I don't know. I always kind of like that stuff. I thought that was sick for this episode of them kind of sneaking around.
Mm-hmm.
And then also I always love seeing Grand Admiral Tarkin, you know?
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I was thinking about this as I was watching. It's like, it's so funny how, you know, he's only in A New Hope, right? And then they give him all this just rich backstory. I think it's so sick. I mean, Star Wars knows has to do it right.
Exactly, dude. I love, and they even started planting the seeds in like the Clone Wars. Well, I guess before the Clone Wars, he was in Revenge of the Sith. He makes like a little quick cameo at the end there.
Mm-hmm.
But I love in the Clone Wars, he and Anakin have like that beef in every episode they're together, and Tarkin's always an a-hole in every episode. So yeah, I love Tarkin. He's one of the coolest villains.
For sure.
But yeah.
Well, because like cool. Also like when they're at the table and they're all discussing like how he's just like has no love for the clones at all. He's like, no, I've worked with them. They suck. I'm like, that's just he's a great villain, dude. He just doesn't care.
Exactly. Yeah. He's great. Especially because like when you think about it, in A New Hope, how he was like just so disrespectful to Vader, like didn't care, dude. Mm-hmm. Just kind of fearless and mean to Vader. He's just a badass villain, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what else? Oh, one of my notes here is Tech and Fee's relationship feels more real to me than Anakin and Padme's.
Whoa.
So yeah, I said
why do you say that? Is it just because like they're organic when they speak to each other, or what?
Yeah. Like, Tech has a reason for why he doesn't really talk to Fee. Whatever. Anakin is just weird, and like Padme just loves him for no reason. And oh, that's unprofessional. That's crazy. Me. Sorry to our listeners who feel like they're waking up for their day shift.
It's an alarm to tell me to go home when I work my long hours, but today I got off early. Anyways, keep going.
Goodness. Oh yeah, but there's that meme that goes around that's like when Anakin tells Padme that he killed these men, women, and children, and it just makes her love him more. You know, I feel like that's not super realistic. I like Fee and Tech a little bit more. No big deal.
Okay.
But yeah, going back to Tarkin. Sorry, I just went backwards in my notes because I forgot we were talking about Tarkin. Crazy by the clones. They must not really know how scary he is. I mean, we've seen him in the Bad Batch. They haven't really crossed paths very much. Mm-hmm. But to go after him and like that high level of a meeting on his turf, pretty crazy.
Not going to be good.
No.
Yeah. I also liked how in this episode, they talk about making the clones, you know, test subjects for cloning.
Mhm.
Like that's a really interesting turn that I didn't really even think of. Like I was wondering why they were taking the clones in that one episode, and maybe they referenced it, but I'm dumb, so I
Right.
always don't pick up on things. So
No.
makes sense that I stupid. But that makes sense why Rex is going and he's trying to rescue all of them, because they're just taking him to a facility, but they're trying to keep it on the DL, on the hush hush.
Right. Yeah. Not to get too deep, but it kind of has reference to like the concentration camps in Nazi Germany, how they experimented on Jewish people. Just kind of interesting because when he was like, yeah, the clones are Empire property, we don't need their cooperation, it's not required. Just kind of a little parallel there.
Yeah.
One
thing going along with that is just I mean this series, not series, because the season has had a lot of those little commentaries of where it's just tons of things, clones rights, and I don't know, I just think it's really cool that they're able to just throw that all in there. We talk about it all the time, but I think this season did a real good job at like doing a lot of different types of stuff with it.
Right, yeah, every episode had a different feel, and that was really cool. That doesn't work with every series or every story, but thank you. But yeah, I liked how diverse this season was with the different stories and the different themes that every episode had.
Yeah. So what did you think about the little Easter egg of Commander Krennic?
Orson Krennic? Loved it, dude. It's well documented that Rogue One is one of my favorite movies. And while I don't think Krennic is like the best villain in that movie, and he's not supposed to be, right?
Right.
Like he is the main focus, but obviously Tarkin and Darth Vader are there as well. So I think he fills his role really well. But yeah, I love him, and I love the reference directly to Project Stardust. Very cool.
Yeah, they just right at it. Beautiful.
Yeah, so good. Let's see here. I've just got like little Easter eggs, like one of the cameras in the corner. When they saw the cameras in the corner, those are the same ones we've seen in a bunch of Star Wars projects, like in A New Hope and most recently in Andor. You'd kind of have to see them. They're like 6 screens, but anyway, it's kind of a dumb Easter egg. I'm super dumb.
No, I just didn't even notice. You're just too good at that stuff.
And Saw Gerrera was there,
mm-hmm.
Which when I saw him pop up, dude, I was like, I'm genuinely surprised. I did not expect Saw Gerrera to be at this thing.
Yeah.
And I used to hate him, dude. When they first introduced him in the Clone Wars and then in Rebels and then in Rogue One, I've always been like, oh. And I think it's just because he was adapted by Forrest Whitaker, and I just don't like Forrest Whitaker very much. But
well, my question, I was going to actually ask you while we're on this subject. So I was going to say, what is your opinion? Just knowing that he's like a very crazy extremist when it comes to it. So you kind of answer that, but do you think it like makes sense to have that type of a character in Star Wars? Because it's totally different than anything we've seen, right? Because when you see the Rebels and like A New Hope, like they're very, grouped together, very normal, not too crazy. But as we're watching in the Clone Wars and all these things, you see Saw Gerrera, and they don't care. Like for example, when he's looking at him and he's just like, "We can't blow this place up. We need to track this ship." He's like, "I'm not going to save it for just some stupid ship and some dumb prisoner." And now I'm like, "Wow."
Yeah. Dude, I do love Saw Gerrera now, and here's why. Because exactly what you said, he's like one of the realest characters in Star Wars, In Rogue One, Mon Mothma like condemns him and is like, he's too much of an extremist. We don't work with Saw Gerrera. He's too aggressive for what we're going for. But he understands that you have to do those crazy things to fight a huge empire. I was thinking, like, yeah, Saw is totally justified in what he's saying. If he can blow up where 4 or 5 of the top commanding officers of the Empire are meeting right now and kill them all, that could seriously damage. Like, Tech is like, yeah, well, they'll just be replaced quickly. Tarkin's not somebody that you can just replace just like that, or Krennic, or,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I was totally on Saw's side. Like, think about it in, again, like an allusion to World War II or something. You can blow up a building that's got like Goebbels in it, and who's Hitler's other guy. You probably know, you're a big Hitler fan, aren't you?
No. What?
What? Aren't you?
No, I'm a big Hitler. They're a big band in the
Oh.
80s.
Oh, okay.
P, not
That
T,
makes sense.
dude.
Okay. No, so I was thinking, but if you could build, or you could, Heinrich Himmler. That's it. That's another one. Anyway, Goebbels and Himmler are in a building together, and you can bomb it and kill them all, or save like one American soldier. You know, like it's not even a
you're
question.
Right.
Kill
You're
them
gonna
all,
take
right?
it out. That's true.
Right.
You're right. You're right.
And yeah, Saw's just really cool. I am gaining an appreciation for him. So,
Well, you better stop, okay? Because I hate to break it to you, but he's gonna die.
he dies.
What? Yeah, your favorite movie. You know that part we always skip? Right there. That's when he dies.
Yeah, I always skip because I get teary-eyed. Dude, and also the music. I have a note here. The music is crazy. Like when they're escaping through that hangar. So good, man.
Dude,
we've talked about that every episode, but it's so good.
I know. It's funny. I literally have it right here. I was gonna say, dude, the music is just unmatched. Like it has been so good this series.
Yeah, it's so funny because I mean I know I always compare the show to the Mandalorian because they're running at the same time, but the Mandalorian just doesn't have that level of music, you know. And I do love what they've got going, but it's just a totally different vibe.
Yeah,
this is something crazy, something good. So,
going along. Sorry, just kind of backtracking on this episode. I did think it was just funny when the Imperial gunner, like the black helmet thing. That's like, I guess that's their technical name. And he turns to the guy behind him when they were doing the surveillance. And he's like, "Oh, by the way, the crane is malfunctioning." He's like, "Oh, great." He's like, "Oh, and like half of the security surveillance is offline."
Right.
I was
right.
like, "That's a pretty good joke." You know, like, shouldn't you lead with that?
Yeah, exactly.
That
is funny. That's all my notes for the first episode. Do you have anything else? Because
yes,
going into the second episode. Okay, let's hear them.
I just have one more on that one, and it's just funny. So what I put when I was watching, I was like, man, I feel like someone needs to die. I feel like someone in the Bad Batch needs to go. I don't know who, but I just feel like it needs to happen. It would make for such a great story. I did that, and then we go to the next episode. So then I went back and edited, and I said, well, wrote this before the end of the next episode. I was like, well, looks like I got my answer.
So
Anyways,
somebody died? Is that what you're saying?
What? Spoiler! Techie?
Yeah.
Gonzos!
Jeez.
Dead.
That was hard to watch. That was sad. Spencer and I were texting earlier, but when it looked like he was going to die. Like he's getting shot on top of that train thing, that monorail thing, whatever it's called. And I was like, man, the way this is building up tension, it looks like he might die. But then I was like, there's no way. And he's hanging from that rope, and I was like, there's no way. But then he's like, Plan 99. And that's the name of the episode, the last episode. So I was like, oh, wait, this is it. Then he drops down, and oh, geez, so horrible.
So good. But here's the thing: that is the kind of storytelling that is just so good. Like I love it.
Yeah.
Like it's like you've kind of taken a book out of Shakespeare, dude. Like you gotta kill them off, kill off the main characters. Here's the thing, though. I really thought if they were gonna kill someone off, it should have been Echo. You know, not really a tag connection, but I'm glad. I'm glad it was Tech because it had that harder like pull on you. Like, damn.
Right. We were talking about this too. Like this whole season, Tech has gotten way more character development, especially when you compare it with the other ones. Like I think it probably goes Tech, Wrecker. Omega, of course, Tech, Wrecker, Hunter, Echo, in terms of like greatest character development to least. And so you've gotten really attached to Tech, and they just did it perfectly, man. Take him out. And I'm so freaking stupid, dude. So in the season before, or in the episode before, they're like, yeah, we can't get Rex to come along because he's on another mission. And in my head, I'm thinking like most TV shows when they can't get a big cameo in, like, oh, the actor's probably busy or something. It's the same voice. It's the same guy that's doing all 5 of these voices. Like, I was like, I'm an idiot. And then when
go ahead.
When Tech dies too, I'm like, oh man, that sucks. Like, we'll never get to hear it. But then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. It's just D. Bradley Baker. He's going to be there forever. So
that's That's funny. That's actually super funny.
Yeah.
The thing I thought when they said Rex wasn't going to be there, I thought going back to the last episode where Saw Gerrera was, when they were saying, "Oh, there's a bomb here," I thought it was going to be Rex on his mission, like, and they were going to cross paths. That's what I thought was going to happen. But Saw Gerrera was a way better surprise. Way better.
I don't know. It might have been pretty cool to see Rex. That would have been awesome.
Doing the same thing.
Either way, yeah.
Really cool. So real quick, this episode was a 9.4, but it only has 275 views, so we can't really say that's a strong thing. So we'll see next week what it gets on the rating. But this is something I wanted to talk about. So starting off of this episode, when they have the TIE fighters, but they're not the traditional TIE fighters, they're like in transition, which we love.
Yeah, they're like predecessors. Yeah.
It looks to me like it's a Obi-Wan ship off of the Revenge of the Sith. It's called the Eta 2 Jedi Starfighter. Like with the wings, when they kind of come up, I don't know, they remind me a lot of it. So to me, it's like a hybrid of those two, like a TIE fighter mixed with Obi-Wan's ship. Kind of hard to, I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at it a little bit more. But like I said, love this period of just transitioning between the two. Like, I don't know, I never would have thought in a million years we'd see something so small but so cool in Star Wars. You know, bridging that gap even better. It's
so cool. But I think you're right there. I think that inspired the Jedi Starfighter design. You know, when they're like in attack mode with those wings up. I think you're exactly right. I think they took that from the TIE fighters. I'd have to check, but dude, we are cut from the same cloth. I had that note as well. Cool predecessor to TIE fighters.
Look at that, dude.
Dude, we just see these things. Another thing about Tech's death is when he goes, "When have we ever followed orders?" Wrecker's like, "Stop," whatever. Because usually when we hear good soldiers follow orders, it's like something horrible is about to happen, or it just happened. And now Tech is kind of showing like how much different they are. When have we ever followed orders? So cute, so cool.
What a great line.
Yeah.
Well, and in the beginning of this, when we started watching this season, you talked about like, why do we need two Tech guys? And I was like, well, that answered that question in the end. They don't. Yeah. But something that I was going to say, you talked about it a couple episodes before, but you never know. I mean, falling deaths don't always mean a death, because you got Palps, Darth Maul. I mean, I'm thinking, like you said, Order 99 or whatever, the Plan 99, pretty heavily indicating that he's gone, especially with the goggles. Yeah. But I hope they don't. I really, really, truly hope he is dead. Not in a mean way. Just like, I just feel like it'd be better for the story.
Right. Yeah, it would be an injustice to the story. But that being said, the way Hemlock like tosses Hunter his glasses, that could mean, hey, they recovered this guy. But I mean, they were so high up. But like you said, that almost never means death in Star Wars. So we'll see. But for the record, Spencer and I do not want him to come back. We love him, but it'd make more sense if he's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think this opens the door as well to open up a chance for Crosshair to come back, because he's on that redemption arc. So I think in the next season, we'll see Crosshair totally back with the Bad Batch.
We are cut from the same cloth. Guy.
Dude, for real?
I literally put Crosshair will fill the role of the missing Tech. That's what I put.
Yeah, so they're going to be pretty much whole again, except for the death, of course. Yeah. But yeah. But I just realized why they probably didn't kill Echo off, because it would have made more sense to do that. But it would have kind of felt cheap if he just joined the Bad Batch last season, like he's the newest member and the first one to go, more or less. So that makes sense. It's more powerful if it's Tech. But
in accounting terms, that'd be called FIFO, first in, first out. It's not really a great business model sometimes.
Did you learn that at college?
Yeah, I'm getting a degree, so probably. I don't
know.
Okay. Wow. But yes, not to take away what you're saying, I totally agree. It wouldn't have made sense. I mean, it would have made sense, but it wouldn't have at the same time. Right. But something I did want to talk about, what I really loved in this episode, I was going back when I was cutting some clips for our podcast. I've been watching a lot of old Star Wars, the Clone Wars stuff. And like the animation, like we're looking back, going from this season to that, it's like so choppy and like very like not much going on. The hair doesn't move or anything, and you come to watch the Bad Batch, and it's so great. And something that I loved was Omega's like little shock, like phasing, going in and out of like the montage when she is like we pick her up and she's like coming in and out of consciousness, and it's like an old like World War II movie or like war movie kind of thing.
Yep.
I love that because like that is like such good cinematography for Star Wars, like nothing like that we've seen, and I just love like the progression it's going towards. I thought it was really succinct.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, imagine seeing something like that in like Rebels, you know?
Yeah.
You just wouldn't see it. This is a next level animation, so
gotta watch
great.
it.
Yeah, dude, nobody watches this. Like I sit by this kid in math class. He's
Does
not
he
a
have
kid.
I
talk about him every episode. He's cute, yeah. If he ever listens, he probably won't talk to me again because I talk about him every episode, I think. Anyway, I was talking to him and he's like, "Yeah, I just don't watch the Bad Batch. I don't want to." I was like, "Dude," but he's got like Mandalorian backpack, a Mandalorian water bottle, Mandalorian AirPods case. I'm like,
that's insane to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, I said it last episode. I'll say it again. I think I like the Bad Batch more. You know, it's got better characters for me. It's better.
This, especially right now where it's at, way better.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
So if you're listening and you just listen for the Mandalorian, or because you're our friends and you pity us, go ahead and watch the Bad Batch. It's very, very good. What else? Oh, one thing I've got here is we've seen it, especially in the previous season, not as much this one, but one of Omega's like allegedly force sensitive powers is that she can sense the emotions of others. Like when they're first imprisoned in Camino, she's really like feeling for, I can't remember who she was talking to, which one of the clones, but she can like feel emotions really strongly. And so all of this going on with Tech dying, not only is she feeling it, but she's feeling everybody else's reactions. So that's got to be way powerful and way hard on her. So
yeah,
just another little layer of storytelling.
Yeah, no, dude. Hey, look at that, dude. You're always right. You're always just. I didn't even think of that.
Come on.
Something I saw when we were watching it was when Sid popped up. They got me as a viewer. I was just like, oh man, I guess we were wrong. They're buddies. Uh-huh. And then they go the Imperial ships here. Went, never mind. Right. She did him dirty.
She did. She ratted him out. She's an effing rat.
She's a rat.
But during that montage of Omega like being shell shocked and waking up and everything, you can hear him say, "Get to Ord Mantell," which is obviously where Sid lives. I was like, why? What are they doing? And of course,
I wonder if, is it just closer? I had to have been. That's the only thing I can think of. It was the closest one where they had someone. That's
true.
Why would they not go back to Pabu? I agree. That's so dumb. But one thing, if I was Hunter, and I guess two things. If I was writing this, I would have killed Hunter when they went back to go find Omega and she wasn't there. It would have been dark, but it would have been good. He goes, Omega's not back there? Or just like, boom, chop off his arm or something. Like, oh man, these guys are business. But the other thing, and the second thing I thought of, if I was Hunter, I'm not even capping right now. If I'm Hunter, Sid walks up and they're handing the prize to her, I'm shooting her. I would have shot her right there, dude.
What are they going to do to you? They don't care. You know?
Yeah. She's nothing. They get to keep their money.
Yeah, so exactly. Dumb. I would have done the same thing. And I don't want to racially profile here, but the Trandoshans, dude, we don't have a single good Trandoshan in canon, except for books. There's a High Republic Jedi. But all of them suck, dude. So don't trust them. If you ever meet one, don't trust them. Trust the Wookiees. Be Team Wookiee.
Thinking about that for
Scorch.
A bit, haven't you?
Do you know who Scorch is? He's one of the clone commandos that everybody loves.
I don't. I'm a fake fan.
Oh, so So you've only been a fan. Okay, so you haven't been a fan for very long then, because I grew up on this video game called Republic Commando. Pretty cool. And Scorch was one of the team members, and he has been a reoccurring character. I mean, nobody even said his name out loud. I think he's shown up in the credits, but you can tell by his yellow markings that's Scorch. And he's the one that took Omega down. So that's kind of cool because he's kind of been on the fringe like this whole time. He's just been making little appearances. So it's kind of a little Easter egg that he took Omega down. Pretty cool.
Okay. I didn't know that. See, I guess I am a fake fan. You gotta call me out.
Yeah, he must be. He must be.
My last 2 bullet points are towards the end, like the end of this episode. So I don't know if you have anything in between. Okay.
No, my last one is like the last line of the episode.
So for me, real quick, I loved how they just kind of ripped out a page of Empire Strikes Back, like hopeless. Like everything at the end of this episode was like hopeless. Like, and I love that. That's why people love Empire Strikes Back, because it's just so dark at the end. As you know, Georgie and I can't remember who else was there. We're going through a divorce, you know, like a dark time in their life. So that's why the Empire Strikes Back is such a darker tone than the rest of the Star Wars movies. And that's what I loved about this. Like, it just ends on such a dark note. Like, not much is resolved. And for me, loved it. Like, I thought there were so many things in this last episode that were answered that we had questions about. I think it just did a really good job at kind of ending this season. So,
yeah, and it's such a great little cliffhanger, dude. Some people don't like cliffhangers because it stresses them out. I love that stuff. And the cliffhanger that it ends on, I was thinking, dude, I was just thinking back to the Luke Skywalker cliffhanger from the Mandalorian season 2 and how that shit got resolved in an episode of the Book of Boba Fett. Like, and everything was just done away with, and how it was so meaningless coming into this season of the Mandalorian. I was like, dude, that's what I love about the Bad Batch, is they're not going to do that, you know, like this cliffhanger is going to pay off, because the cliffhanger from last episode or last season did. This whole season was great. So yeah, I was just very happy about that.
Very good. And I mean, as you said, you nailed it months ago, or whenever we said it. You're good, dude. It's her sister. You said, I remember. I remember when you said it, I was like, oh, that's a good point. I didn't think of that because they had the same accent and the face shape, and you just kept expounding, dude. First theory confirmed correctly on the pod.
Guess what? Disney, Lucasfilm, you can't hide it from me. I'm a super fan. I notice these things. No, but that was really satisfying. When you texted me, Spencer texted me and he was like, dude, you got something right and I want you to talk about it, whatever. And I was like, what could it be? I was watching the whole episode and I was like, what is it? And then I was like, oh, if it's that clone thing. And then even then I was like trying to talk myself out of it. I was like, she's not a clone. But pretty cool. So that'll be awesome going into next season, dude.
Yes, really cool. I'm excited.
But yeah, I mean, we get to see what she looks like grown up. I want a live action Omega now. Adult Omega, of course. Kind of hot in animation. We'll see in live action.
What's going on with you, man?
The adult.
Yo, dude, you're kind of getting on the borderline over there. I'm a little worried for you,
dude. It's a great point. She might not be an adult because Omega's a child, and her brothers, who are the same age as her, the Bad Batch, same age, little kids. We already established Fee is a pedophile,
right?
So am I a pedophile for liking this supposed adult version of? No, I'm not. I'm not.
You're a freak for liking animation, is what the answer is.
Yeah, that's true. At least she's not one of your Minecraft girls, dude.
Come on, hey. No hate. If that's your niche, if that's your niche little thing you like to do, whatever. Do you, man? You like?
Shout out to my boy Joss. He's into that anime stuff. But yeah, great way to end the season. I'm very excited to see where it goes next season. And that's the good thing about the Bad Batch, dude, is we don't have to wait 2 or 3 years for it. Like, I'm sure The
It's in the
third
works.
season's going to be next. Yeah.
Yeah,
Next
for
year.
for sure. Yeah, man. Well, it was great. Hey, great ride. So now all we'll have left is the Mandalorian, which probably going forward will give us more time for the wheel. Because I don't know if we're gonna be able to hit the wheel this week, but we'll see.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're already at 30 minutes. We're
Yeah.
killing it.
So Mandalorian, aka the pirate. Arrgh, show me your booty.
That was really good.
Thank you. Thank
That
you.
was really good.
I've been practicing in my room at night. Ellie and I do some role playing. Hey, yo.
Oh, great. Okay.
So, anyways, this one got an 8.8 for as of right now. This one had more. I think it was like a couple thousand were the reviews. People rated a lot quicker. Last week's was a 7.9, so it was the second lowest of this season. So, I mean, not surprisingly, not much really happened. It was just kind of the little bird episode. But
Wait. Sorry. Oh, okay. The last one was the second lowest rating.
Yeah,
I was like, kind of a lot happened in this episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
So this, real quick, I wanted to say this because I had it written down and I realized I never talked about it. Because we talked about this in the beginning of what was going to happen with Cara Dune's character, like what's going on. We don't know who's going to fill the role. We had all these like speculations. Never would have thought it would have been Bo-Katan, but she's kind of fulfilling that role of who Cara Dune was, and I love it. I think it was a great transition. It wasn't like a rewrite or anything like that, like we talked about. It just kind of flowed really nice and smooth, and I don't know. I just really like that about this.
Yeah. Very good point. So, well, let's start with how you felt about this episode. Did you like it? Did you not like it?
I enjoyed it. I had to take a break halfway through because my coworkers wanted to get some lunch. We went to Brad's, no big deal. But the beginning part was like, I was like, okay, it's all right. But then the end, I was like, oh, I really like where this is heading. I like where it's going. I felt like it was a great story. I loved the pirates. I thought that was such a sick thing. I mean, you saw you just heard my, what is that called? Impression. Yeah. So you know where I'm at.
Uncanny. No, yeah, I really liked it too. I thought the beginning was good too. I'm not a hater like you are.
Okay.
But no, I thought it was cool. I liked, for some reason I have in my notes, he shot first, an allusion to Greedo and Han. Don't remember what that was in regards to. I think one of the the Pirate King guy must have said, you killed one of my men or a bunch of my men to Grief Karga. And he must have said he shot first. So I don't know. That might not be it. I'll have to rewatch it.
Okay. So don't say shit you don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Just kidding.
But I did like how this episode showed how weak the New Republic is, because we got that in a couple episodes ago. But
soft.
Dude, they can't even attack pirates. Like, the bureaucrat is like, I've never even heard of Navarro. We've got a lot of stuff going on. If they haven't signed what did they call it, a charter or something, we can't help them. And it's like, wow.
Softies.
Sucks.
Yeah, really bad. Going along with that, this is just, it's doing a really good job of kind of showing how we're getting to the Force Awakens. Like, I think you can see a lot of things in motion at this point, which is nice because we've been wanting that. Second question I was going to ask you. I think we talked about it before. I just forgot the pirate's name. The head guy, the captain, the green moss pizza guy.
Yeah. What is his name?
Is he
Vane
a
sorry.
I was just going to ask, is he a puppet or is he? Is that practical or special effects, do you think?
I'm almost positive it's practical.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Because during the hologram, there his mouth was moving really weird.
Way off. Yeah.
And I think I kind of think that's why they put the it was breaking up kind of a thing. I wonder if that's why they did that, because it was not lining up very well.
Right. Yeah. Dude, that's funny that you noticed that. I did too. I think maybe it's because it was throughout the whole episode, we don't really see him talk that much. He's saying one-liners, and then it cuts away from him. So yeah, I'm sure it's just practical, and it just doesn't really
hard to
show that mouth movement very well. But very cool design.
Yeah, I love his design. Also, I was gonna say I love the beach army base. Reminded me of Top Gun, when they're all hanging out on the beach and stuff. Thought that was sick. I really liked it.
And the music going into that too was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
No, I just said but I actually don't know what it sounded like.
Dude, I wish I could. Can I pull up Disney? It would take way too long, but it sounded so cool.
Well,
You go back
I'll
and
go back
listen
and
to
listen.
it.
I'll go back. And
It's
give it
like a
listen.
funky alien language rock.
Oh
song.
yes, no, yes. Now that you said yes, it has like the alien language. I do know what you're talking about because I noticed. I was
so
like,
you knew.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm just an idiot,
No,
but I like the vibe.
okay.
It was good.
Yeah, very fun.
And we see Zebby.
Zeb, what a cool freaking dude. I was telling Spencer this. I don't know why, but I was like, I don't think I'll ever see Zeb, and like it just caught me so off guard. I was like, why is he even here with the New Republic? I just wouldn't expect him to be like a pilot there on a base. Took me way off guard. I saw him like walking up, and I was like, oh, that's a what are they called? Lasat? I think it's a species.
Yeah, it's Lasat.
I was like, oh, that's a Lasat. And then he starts talking. I was like, oh my gosh,
Yep.
that's Zeb. That's crazy.
Well, and that was the exact reaction
so
I
cool.
had because I thought it was just a Lasat. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then when he talked, I was like, oh snap, that's my boy
Yeah.
Zeb.
Yeah. But Spencer and I were talking, like, Ahsoka, they have said, is pretty much going to be a continuation of Rebels, you know, the Ahsoka series. And so it would make sense to drop a popular character, or, well, maybe a little lesser known character in one of their most popular shows to kind of like tease, hey, here's the type of people we're going to have in our new and upcoming series. Look it up, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure a lot of people were like, that was kind of a weird cameo. Who is that? Had to
Exactly.
look it up. So,
like, yeah, because if you didn't know who he was, you could tell that it was definitely supposed to be a cameo because the way it was all shot. So
right.
really, really cool. And I think we are going to see him. Like, we have to see him in the Ahsoka series.
Absolutely.
Like, it would make. I mean, there is a way that they would throw him in, so people are like, oh yeah, because that kind of like with the Purgles, the Space Wells, like, oh yeah, this is here. But I don't know. And that CGI, some of the best we've seen in so long. Like that was like, oh, this is actually good. They did a really good job.
Yeah, I'm a little worried because I mean, of course, he was only in screen for like on screen for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So we'll see how the series goes. But I'm sure I'm not sure of anything with Star Wars anymore. But hopefully they keep it looking good.
I know. I hope they do. Because if they can keep it, like if they kept it at that caliber for the whole series, like man, so good. But as you say, we never know with this kind of stuff. They have the money to do it, but
the craziest thing is, you know, the Lasats were based off of the original design for Chewbacca. You know,
right.
Could you imagine seeing him in the original trilogy? Of course, done practically. Like how gross and scary that would be the whole time.
Yeah.
Like he looks great in animation, but imagine practically done in 1977 would have looked horrible. So I'm glad they went with the design we have now. Yeah,
the Wookiees are way better of an approach to put in a 1970s practical effect.
Right.
Let's see, what do I got here? I like you kind of just mentioned it. I have here that shows the bureaucracy of it all, of how like, well, we can't help them. You know, I was like, wow, that's crazy. But they had a huge foreshadow there that, you know, because I should have wrote down the pilot's name. I forget it. But he's talking.
Carson Teva is his name.
Thank you. When he is talking, he's like, we got to be like, Moff Gideon is there. You know, he was a huge uprising. And now the pirates, like, this is a lot of stuff going on in the Outer Rim. Like, I think we should be worried. Like, we don't need to be worried. I'm like, well, that's a good foreshadow of, like, because as we've mentioned before, that's where they come from, is the Outer Rim is what takes over.
So good, dude. Yeah, it is crazy that they're going to take the mess that was the sequels and turn it into something good with all this supplemental TV work. But they're really doing it pretty well. Like we saw more of the New Republic in this episode than we saw in the entire sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Like within those 2 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's great that they're doing that. It's great that they're building that up. So I'm excited for that.
I love it. Love it.
I don't really have, I mean, I've got a bunch more notes. Let's see. Grief Karga removes his robes for them to flee into the desert. Could be symbolic. A lot of these things have been like biblical references, so that could be something.
Dude, that's what I wrote. I said, reminded me of like it gave me like a Moses vibe when he was walking out and they're in the desert. I was like, Israelites. I was like, this is very biblical, and it's not the first time we've seen a tip to the hat to the biblical story.
Dude,
so yes, it's not
money.
the same thing.
For our listeners out there, Spencer is a Southern Baptist and I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, so we're both great followers of Jesus Christ.
Our Lord and Savior. No, I'm Catholic.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, very cool little symbolism. And then again, while we're on it, Bo-Katan is kind of like a Moses figure who's going to reunite the tribes.
Yep.
Well, maybe she's a Jesus figure. I haven't studied up lately, but to reunite the tribes and kind of like fulfill the law, because this is jumping all the way to the end. But
right,
she doesn't have to live the way where she keeps her helmet on all the time. She's kind of transcended that. Mm-hmm. And so very cool to see how that will shake out.
She fulfilled the law. She created a new law. Shit.
So she's kind of Jesus.
Maybe it is. Jesus is a woman, because if Jesus is a woman, she's just my type. I can't remember. What does that role model say?
If Jesus saves, then she's my type.
Then she's
Shout
my
out
type.
role model.
That's right. There he is. Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker, our boy. We've met him. We've talked to him. No big deal. Whatever.
I have a question. I wish I should have wrote down exactly. There was a part where they mentioned Rangers. This is around that same time. Do you think this is like referring to the Rangers that they were maybe going to make in the series Rangers, or do you think it was just another group maybe called the Rangers? I mean, I don't have enough information of what I was going off of, but
I didn't really notice that reference, but I'm sure they're referring to New Republic Rangers, which was what Cara Dune was in season 2.
Okay.
Like she was
She was one of those. Okay. I got to look into that, but yes. And then I was also going to say R5, he's making a big part, dude.
Dude, I hate that.
Dude, maybe he is. Maybe like you were saying in that comic, whatever it was, that he's a force sensitive, because now,
that's true.
Brings him to the base, he's putting his hand in everything.
Yeah, I effing hate R5. I wish they would just write him out. Like, let him die, man. It's so silly, but that's a great point. Maybe he is force sensitive. One thing I was thinking from that scene is we take these spaceship, like starfighter scenes, so for granted. Like that scene of Carson Teva bringing his X-Wing into Lake Mead or whatever it is. So cool. Looked so really great.
Good. So good.
Like, if we were kids in the 80s watching shows like this and seeing this, it would blow your mind,
Yeah. We're privileged, dude.
We are.
Good stuff.
I was thinking back to when I was a kid, like playing with, I still do, but when I'm playing with my Star Wars toys and like zooming through the air, that's exactly what you imagine. It's just like that photorealistic. Oh, so cool.
So sick. So sick.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say, because after that, they have the discussion if they are going to help them or not. And I don't know the guy's name. What is the Mandalorian's name? I tried to look it up. His kid, that guy.
Vizsla. He's from the clan Vizsla. I think his name's Tar Vizsla. Or maybe I'm...
Something like that. But I don't really usually get like... curveballs thrown to me when I watch shows, not to pride myself, but like usually I can see things coming. That really, when he was like going off in that whole rant, like, I was there when they were attacking us, yada yada. He's like, and we should help him because this is the way. I was like, oh damn,
yeah,
switched up real nice.
He did, and that's, we kind of thought it was dumb last episode that like, oh, he's my son, but it led directly into this. Like that whole episode was building up. Oh, Bo is building up her credibility with the convent or the covert. Paz Vizsla is his name. I just looked it up. Paz Vizsla. Tar Vizsla is the original Vizsla. I'm an idiot.
It's okay.
Paz Vizsla gains trust for them because they save his kid. Just done really well. So trust the process, I guess. But
yeah.
Another thing I liked about that scene is they use the hammer as like a little talking stick.
Yeah. It's kind of funny.
Let's see.
I did rock with the pirate starship. Because I was watching, I was like, dude, this looks like something we've seen in like Clone Wars. And I was just watching. I didn't finish the video. I was watching Screen Crush's take on this episode, and one of the things he said was like that starship they're using looks like a repurposed from the Rebel area. I can't remember because it looks like kind of like the hammerhead that you see in Rogue One. That like
Yeah, the Hammerhead Corvette is what they're
Yes.
called, I think.
it looks really similar to that time, and like they were talking about how the spaceship, like the actual gunning, like the gunner's parts, are like from the Rebel area. So
Oh,
they
cool.
think for sure that it's definitely repurposed of something of that sort, and would make sense.
Very,
of course.
very cool. Yeah, that makes sense. I like the paint job on it, like the striping.
Yeah, really cool.
Pretty
I like
cool.
that too.
I also like how Din is flying in and Grief Karga is like, they've got you outnumbered 10-1 or whatever. He's like, I like those odds. Cool.
Yeah, super dope.
By the way, I'm rewatching Narcos Colombia. I told you this, Spencer, but for our viewers, Pedro Pascal's in that. Go freaking watch it. It's so good. He's so
Really
hot
good.
in it. Oh my gosh.
He's sexy.
Anyway, these dogfight scenes, dude, are not missing. This whole series, they've been amazing.
So good.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just, that's the part of like, I mean, I was talking to my dad about it. He's like, that's what he loved about A New Hope, because there's not very much, lightsaber battles going on. It's the starship, the dog fights that people remember, and they're doing great.
So cool, dude. I also noticed none of the pirates are human. They're all like some other species. So pretty racist, pretty messed up.
Yeah, pretty rude.
And another note I have here is the armor's fighting style with like her hammer and her pincher thing.
Oh, yes.
So cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you like from the episode, Spencer?
The one thing that we kind of already brushed on was that, Bo-Katan, we were correct in our assumption that she was going to be the one to bring them all together. If she will be in the end, we don't know, but as right now, looking like the plan. So,
yeah,
kind of cool.
Which is, I mean, we talked about this so much better than Din, because I thought they were working towards Din Djarin being the person who reunites it for a couple episodes this season. I was like, oh no, I hope they don't do that. But yeah.
Same.
Also kind of weird how the armor just switched up. She was like, last episode, she didn't believe Bo-Katan at all that she saw the Mythosaur. And then this one, she was like, okay, you know what? Abandon the way, and you're going to be the one that reunites all the tribes of Mandalore. It's like, I wish we would have gotten some more explanation as to why she switched up like that.
To me, the only thing I can think of, I feel like they had to have shot something and maybe it got cut in editing. But
That's
it feels like
true.
such a big thing, so maybe it might come back tomorrow. Like, maybe she's like, why did you believe me now? And I wonder if, like, maybe next episode she's like, well, maybe it's a flashback or something. I hope they do, because I agree. It is funny that there's not really a lot of substance. I mean, we're nitpicking it, but that's what we do. That's why we listen to the pod.
Right.
So I hope they do, bring into why that happened.
Right. Okay, well, very cool. I've got a few more notes here. I don't know how you're looking.
I got two more. One that I loved was the Moff Gideon, that he's still alive, that he got out.
Yeah.
So sick.
So cool.
I'm excited. I want to see him again. I love him.
We love him. We've talked about this on the pod before, but we love Giancarlo Esposito. He is the best. He's the best villain ever, pretty much. And I'm just glad he's back. And I think he's going to lead us to Thrawn. I think there's going to be some teaser of Thrawn before the Ahsoka series starts. There has to be.
That'd be so sick.
This is going to be cool. But the craziest thing was that apparently the Mandalorians broke him out, or at least there was some Beskar alloy left there.
Yes.
So there could be either another sect of the Mandalorians that are working with the Empire, or the Empire has, or the remnants of the Empire has their hands on Beskar somehow. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see. There's something else about. So I need to get to it. That's why I clicked on his video, Screen Crush. They talk about how his name is Ryan Erie, right?
Ryan Erie, yeah.
The thumbnail is alluding to that the people who were escorting was Cara Dune. Is like that's what they're alluding to in the thumbnail. It looks like she died on that ship when they were rescuing Moff Gideon. Because
Thank goodness.
So I want to keep watching that. I haven't finished. That's the thumbnail though. Now that's why I clicked on it. I was like, I'm really curious, because if there's more evidence of that, that'll be crazy and sick, So we'll see.
Shoot, man. We usually watch these videos before the podcast, but it feels more genuine when we don't. But I do like to have a little bit more information coming in, because that would have been cool to talk about. So maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in it.
Okay. Last thing I have is Carson Teva's a little bitch, bro, because he had all those fighters and he didn't even show up.
I know.
He had at least 15 people with him. All those X-Wings could have made a huge difference.
I
Doesn't
know,
even
right?
come.
Hey, dude, it's because good soldiers follow orders, man.
That's
But
true.
he kind of gave him a green light, though. He was like,
Yeah, he was like, we're not doing it, but like
Yeah,
they were just sitting there shooting space pool, doing nothing, drinking at the
Oh,
bar.
yeah. So
Anyway,
my last thing I have is a question. So if you have more, go for them because I'm on my last point.
I kind of had a question. It's just like, why is the New Republic lying about Moff getting away? You would think they'd want to like be pretty transparent and say this. Well, I guess no. That answers my own question. It makes sense why they'd want to like keep people in the dark about that because that's pretty humiliating and scary.
Yeah, they don't want to cause fear into everyone, which makes sense. But
Right.
I think you have a point that we talked about it in the episode. I can't remember which one. When they go and bomb Bo-Katan's home,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it really is Moff Gideon because who knows when they broke out or like was that recent
Yeah.
or have they been there for a while? We don't really know. So that would be
That's
cool.
true. Yeah, that's very true. What was your question?
So what were your thoughts on the ending? With Bo-Katan becoming when the armorer tells her hey, you got to go unite everyone. Do you think? I guess my question is, do you think they're going to be taking this and doing split offs, or do you think Bo-Katan's going to kind of take a break and she'll go away and then she'll come back later, or what do you think is going to kind of happen?
Yeah, I really don't know because right now in the story we're kind of stagnated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bo and like last episode was just them training at the covert and then going after this dragon in an emergency, right? So Bo and Din are kind of stagnant right now.
Right.
And previously, when we've seen Bo try to reunite the tribes of or try to get Mandalore going, or like try to take her throne back, she always has to get a sidekick. Like in the
Right.
Clone Wars, she has her two buddies with her, but then she also has to go get Ahsoka for help, right?
Right.
To defend Mandalore and try to get the Jedi to help as well. And then in
Rebels,
Sabine Wren has to be the one that kind of does it for her. So it would make sense for her to need Din Djarin and Grogu. So I think, yeah, that's probably where it's going to progress is I think we're going to be along for the ride with her and Din.
Yeah.
Getting all this done. Because otherwise, what would Din and Grogu be doing?
Yeah. They would just be doing the offshoot, like, oh, let's go do this mission,
Exactly.
which was all last season. So
yeah,
I think
and,
you're right.
and people hate that.
Yeah.
Including me.
Yeah.
So
I think I like what you're saying because I feel like because they they're gonna have a spot on what's that city called?
Navarro.
They're gonna give them their kind of space. So I think you're right. I think it's gonna be the Mandalorians are gonna sit there and start getting together, having a home where Din and Bo-Katan are gonna go off on their mission with Grogu, trying to find out this and unite them all. So I think it'll be good. And I think probably if it was Mandalorians that bail them out, I think that's going to be the big point, that they're trying to, get all that figured out. So
like another little Mandalorian Civil War. So we'll see.
It'll be dope. I'm excited.
Okay. Well, that's all I've got.
That's all I got. Again, sorry to our listeners. This is like a month we haven't done the wheel, but it's a lot harder to do when you have, two shows at the same time. It's a lot to talk about. So, but I know you guys love it, and we love giving clips out there for the TikToks. So, also I did get a little hate on our TikTok. I did say the wrong thing, guys. Chill out. When I said,
What'd you say?
I said chain link, I think I said, and it's chain mail.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Like a fence instead of armor. That's funny.
Yeah. I was like, dude, I was fucking just talking. Sometimes I don't know what I'm saying. I just talk. And they're like, well, actually, I'm like, okay. And then one of the comments was actually really funny. He's going to screenshot it to you. He said, yeah, you think you would learn that. You think people would learn that after playing Minecraft, which is really funny because it's some random ass dude. It's none of our friends. Right. Because the really funny part is it is that in Minecraft. It's called chainmail.
Wow. That's funny. You should know better.
Yeah. Super funny. I laughed. I was like, that's so funny. Anyways.
Listen to our TikTok followers, people who don't follow us on TikTok. Listen to our listeners. You don't understand how hard it is to be a podcaster. To come out here and open up our hearts to you.
Our hearts.
So don't give us crap. And if you want to, email us or comment.
Oh yes, thank you.
And then
Thanks for
we'll
bringing that up.
change.
So email, we did just open up an email. Questions, things you want to hear us talk about. We'd love it. That'd be awesome. We're ripping this off of Austin's best friend, Case, and my buddy. I'll call him my buddy, Case.
My very best friend.
He does it on his pod. We'll give him a plug. What's his podcast name? I don't even know it.
His podcast is called Case in Point. If you're an NBA fan or just a fan of a good time, go ahead and give it a listen. It's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Not on YouTube, to note. But.
Not on YouTube. Cason's one of the funniest guys I know. Give it a listen. But anyways, after now we plugged him in. You can shoot us an email at disciplesoftheforce@gmail.com. We'll receive those. I hope we get one. That'd be kind of fun. Please send us something. Even if it's just, hey, I would love to see it. But other than that, that's all I got. You got anything, Aust?
Nope, that's all I've got.
Okay, well, hey. Thank you for being a disciple of Force.
Beautiful.